Hello, hello again. Welcome to Verbling again. Why do I repeat myself? I'm not sure. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley, and once again today in this class we are going to be practicing for the TOEFL reading test. More or less, we're going to jump right in and practice actual questions on the tests. Okay, so if you have any questions of any nature about anything to do with TOEFL, just feel free to jump in and ask. Don't be shy. I will answer any questions. Okay, let me start by doing a mic check and saying hello. Hello, Ruben.
Hello again, teacher.
Hello again. Hello, Michael again.
Hey, teacher.
Howdy, howdy. And I'd like to welcome Matthias or Matthias.
Hello, Mateus. Hello, teacher.
Hi. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, sure. Do you have plans to take a TOEFL test in the future?
Yes, I will do 11 July.
Oh, July 11th, coming right up. Ooh. Okay. 1 month. Exactly 1 month. Okay. All right. Well, you're in the right place, I hope. I can give you some strategies to use today. And welcome, Roberto. Hi there.
Hey, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Terrific. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's get started. All right, guys. Now, how it occurs. Oh, I lost my video. How it happens on a on an actual TOEFL test, you're going to obviously be, most likely, unless you live somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, most likely you will be taking the test on a computer, the IBT test. You're going to be looking at a computer screen. Normally, this can change, but normally the test will consist of 3 reading passages, roughly around 40 questions. So that means roughly 13 questions, 12, maybe 15 per reading passage. As you take the test, now you will see the reading passage. You have a choice here, right from the beginning, all right? You could take time to read the passage in its entirety. You could skim, maybe reading the first and last paragraph and sort of quickly skim the information to try to get the general idea of what they're talking about and the main basic points that the author is trying to convey. This is usually the strategy that works for most people. Or you could just jump right to the questions and attempt to just refer back to the reading. Okay? These 3 techniques are really kind of personalized, so I'm not going to just tell you should do it this way, all right? You need to practice. You need to find yourself some material and find which technique works best for you, and most importantly, which one is the most efficient. The key word when you're attacking, and attack is another key word, but when you're attacking the TOEFL exam, the key word is efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. You need to be efficient, like a Navy SEAL, like a U.S. Marine. Go in, kill, and get out.
Literally attack the exam, right?
Yeah, literally, because you're fighting the clock. And some of these questions are very quick to address, and some of them are just, they're time consuming and there's just no other way, unfortunately. So you have to recognize that and strategize accordingly. Okay, because we have limited time in the class, I'm just going to go to number 3 strategy here. We're just going to go right to the questions. All right, you're going to have a chance to read the whole thing if you so choose. However, when it comes to question time, you're going to see a screen like this. You're going to have your question on the left-hand side with the multiple choice answers. And on the right-hand side, you're going to be able to see the reading passage at one glance on your computer screen. So you're going to be able to very quickly find the information. In addition, very often the question itself will point you to where the answer is. It will say paragraph 1, or you might be looking for a highlighted word or phrase. So many of the questions, it's very easy to scan for the information. Quick terminology, to skim is to go through the whole passage to get the general idea. You skim for information. To scan, that means to find specific information located in a specific area in the body of the text. Okay, before we get started, a quick welcome to Shafar. Hi, Shafar.
Hi teacher,
Hi there.
how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Shafar. Shafar, how's the weather where you are?
I think it's nice because many wine and it look like there's a sun.
Okay, kind of sunny.
It's good.
All right. I'm just curious because we're somewhat nearby, and all I've seen is rain for the since Saturday. Just curious. Okay. Hi, David. Welcome to the class.
Hi, teacher.
Hi
Thanks.
there. Nice to have you aboard. Okay. Let's begin practicing. Which of the following can be inferred? Oh, gosh. All right, inference questions. All right, these are tough, and these take a lot of practice. I will not tell a lie. Okay. Which of the following can be inferred from paragraph 1 of the passage? All right, obviously we know where to find the information. All right, an inference question. In TOEFL, I might add the same holds true for IELTS. They have the same exact type of question in IELTS, in case anyone is practicing for that exam. Identical idea here. The information you're inferring, okay, an inference, okay, the husband walks home with lipstick on his collar. The wife may infer he's having an affair. Okay, that is a broad jump, all right? In TOEFL or IELTS, the inference is a very, 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 very short shuffle, a baby step. It is not that much of a what we call a stretch. It is very, very obvious that your inference must be true based on the information. Okay, obviously our strategy here is, first of all, clearly to go to paragraph 1 here. Okay, and take a look. Well, here it is. I don't know how well you can see this. Maybe a little blurry. Okay. We have to, what can we infer, what can we deduce from this paragraph? All right, well, in this case, we're probably going to have to read an inference question. We're going to need information before and after, and we have choices. We have multiple choice answers, so we're probably going to need to read the whole thing. In case it's blurry, I'm going to go ahead and read it. Only a small number of professional photographers ever had any practical experience as daguerreotypists. Daguerreotypes, actually. It's not daguerreotypes. I had to look up pronunciation for this myself. Okay, again, only a small number of professional photographers ever had any practical experience as daguerreotypists. Those technicians who made photographs through the daguerreotype process. By its strictest definition, the daguerreotype process was common for not more than 20 years in the mid-1800s. Other ways of making photographic images on metal plates, such as tintypes and ferrotypes, were developed rapidly after the advent of the daguerreotype. They quickly eclipsed it in popularity. Today, the surviving photographs produced by these methods are often referred to as daguerreotypes, but that designation is incorrect. All right. So from that information, what can we assume, which is, okay, again, what we're assuming is going to be very, very clear from the information. The most obvious answer. All right, we're going to start out using POE, process of elimination. Okay. Ruben, you were first in. So what do you think of the first answer? Some photographs are called daguerreotypes inaccurately. Well,
I don't think that is the correct answer. That's not.
Okay. Why?
Because the paragraph is talking about a method, a process,
Yes.
and this option refers to the photographers. That's why I think that it's not the correct answer.
Okay. All right. Let's continue. Daguerreotypes were popular for most of the 1800s. What do you think of this answer?
Daguerreotypes were popular. Could be.
Okay. Now, as I look at these answers, most likely I'm gonna pop back and forth. Okay. Were popular for most of the 1800s. Okay. I can look for the keywords 1800s. This process was common for not more than 20 years in the mid 1800s. So okay, so saying they were popular for most of the 1800s, which would logically be at least 51 years. Hey.
So there's not the.
Yeah, this is not a good fit. All right, there's information, there's related information, but it just doesn't fit because these types of pictures were only made for 20 years. How could they be popular for 51 years? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Not all daguerreotypes were made by technicians. What do you think of this, Ruben?
I think that is the correct answer.
You do? Well, I'm not so sure. I'm going to take a closer look. Okay. Those daguerreotypists I can look for, I can search for. Again, I can look specifically for keywords. Those technicians who made photographs through the daguerreotype process. Okay, only a small number of professional photographers had practical experience using this process. Okay.
Mm.
So what they're saying is only a few technicians actually use the process. It's not, it's saying kind of backwards from this, Ruben. This is saying not all the daguerreotypes were made by technicians. Not quite, not really the same thing. Okay, last, tintypes and ferrotypes. So I'm not, personally, I'm not convinced. I'm thinking that the passage actually reverses this idea, which is very common. Also, the other thing that makes me nervous about this idea, whenever throughout the TOEFL exam, when you see, and this goes for several question types, when you see absolute adjectives, all, always, never, completely, adverbs even, entirely, all right? When you see adjectives and adverbs which describe absolute states of being, you should be nervous. You should be very, very nervous about that answer. It is possible the answer is correct. It is highly unlikely because of the very nature of the material you are reading. Academic professors who write these articles and try scientific method really tries to never speak in absolutes. That is very dangerous because you may try an experiment 1,000 times, and one time it may be different results. Okay, just as an example, but in general, these academic articles avoid absolutes because that's a trap. Then they can be easily refuted. So it's going to be very rare that they're going to use absolutes in these articles. So look at these possible answers very carefully. All right. Okay, this is not all. So this is not really an absolute, but still, I'm just using this as an example to draw your attention to that fact that you need, whenever you see any absolutes, you got to be really careful. All right, last one. Tintypes and ferrotypes were the first photographs. Well, okay. I look for this. Tintypes, ferrotypes were developed after the advent of the daguerreotype. So this information, this is an exactly opposite from the information presented. We can easily eliminate D.
Yeah.
Okay. D and B, this is very normal. D and B are two answers which are just wrong, which leaves us with C and A. Now, you dismissed A, and I'm not sure why. Some photographs are called daguerreotypes inaccurately.
Oh yes, that's the correct answer because it says at the beginning, it's only a small number of professional photographers have ever had a practical experience as a daguerreotypist. And it says at the end, the survival photographs produced by these methods are often referred as a daguerreotypes, but that designation is incorrect.
Yeah, but that designation is incorrect.
So,
okay, so this is it's not even really an inference. Okay, that designation is incorrect. So some photographs are called daguerreotypes inaccurately. That's hardly a giant leap of faith. That's hardly an enormous leap of assumption. It's basically right there. This has to be true. All right? This is the lesson to be learned here. An inference is going to be very tightly directly related to information which is in the paragraph you're looking at. All right. Well, there you go. Okay, that's. I wanted to go through that carefully so you understood that it is not going to be a very broad assumption. It's going to be very, very tight to what the passage says. Please remember, in the TOEFL reading, the answer is in there, always. Okay, that's very important. All right, next question here. The phrase "not more than" in the passage is closest in meaning to. We're going to go right to the passage. Is our technique. We're going to go right into, look at the passage and see if we can substitute a word or phrase. I'm not really looking at the answers, but I would note that, okay, there's adverbs and there's also phrases. All right, I'm going to go right to the information. I'm going to see if I can substitute a different word or phrase here. Roberto? Roberto.
Yes, I'm
Try
here.
this out. All right, let's go right to, it's easy to find, it's highlighted. Let's go right to it and see if you can figure out an alternative phrase. All right, so go ahead and read the sentence.
By its strictest definition, the daguerreotype process was common for not more than 20 years in the middle 18th.
1800s is how we say it.
1800s.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. Daguerreotype, by the way. I know this
Daguerreotype. Okay.
This word is unfamiliar to myself as far as pronunciation, so don't worry about it. Is there another way? Is there something you could substitute for the not more than? It was common for what?
For, let me think.
For
For
almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's close. Not more than, okay, means, well, I'm gonna give it away. Almost 20 years means, okay, 19 years and 364 days. Not more than 20 years means 20 years and not a day more. It's very close. I don't know. Not sure. Michael, can you come up with anything else?
Do we have options of the word?
We do.
Show
But
me them. I'll tell you.
Sure. All right. Okay. I will do that in a second. What I am trying to actually demonstrate
Less than equal.
Strategy. Okay. Less than equal. Well, okay. Rewording it in your own. That is okay. That's what I'm looking for. Less than equal. Oh, okay. Now, you wouldn't normally say that or write that in English, but that is the idea rephrased in your own brain, in your own words. That's the idea. What I'm trying to show you here is strategy to save time. The first thing to do, if you can think of a substitute by just looking at the sentence quickly, which is right there, then you're going to be very confident in your answer. Otherwise, if that doesn't work for you, if you can't think of an answer, you're going to have to do Michael's option. You're going to have to take each answer and read it into the sentence one at a time, which is more time consuming. Perhaps you will have to do that. Okay? Perhaps that is the strategy you're going to end up needing anyway.
At most?
That is possible that you are going to have to do that. At most. Okay. Is probably the correct answer. Okay. At first for at first 20 years makes no sense. For additionally 20 more years, that makes no sense. At most makes sense. Historically, for historically 20 years, no, that doesn't make sense. Historically just means in the past. So yeah, the answer here is at most. Okay. Basically, that's the strategy. See if you can figure it out. Frankly, this example is pretty easy. Usually, it's going to be much more difficult. In addition, be aware that there will often be two answers which seem to work. You may be looking for, instead of a phrase, a vocabulary word, and you may see down here in your options two synonyms for different meanings of that vocabulary word. All right. In that case, going directly and trying to think of your own word will work better. It'll be much less confusing than actually substituting the words, because you may have two answers that actually are appropriate for that word, but they don't fit in the sentence. Okay, why does the author do something? All right. This type of question, you're actually considering the motivation of or the purpose of the author. Why is the author doing this? Okay, just to show you, is he using it to contrast, to argue as an argument, to give an example, okay, as a specific example of something else he mentions before, to contrast something he mentions before, to argue a point he's already introduced, or to indicate, how dangerous, to indicate, to add more detail is what that means. To indicate is to add more detail. So what is the purpose? Well, okay, let's take a look. David, we're going to go directly to, what was it again? I forgot what we were looking for. Proper laboratory procedure, which we can find right here. All right. This type of question, we want to know why the author's doing something. So we know that we're going to have to skip ahead or back, I guess back, to at least the sentence before. All right? We're going to have to read the sentence before and the sentence that the phrase is in. David, can you read from here, please?
Okay. The materials it required were both expensive. The plates contained silver, and one of the developing solutions contained gold, and extremely risky. Strict adherence to proper laboratory procedure was necessary in order to avoid poisoning by noxious gases.
Yeah, good. Noxious gases, good pronunciation. Okay, so what is this phrase referring back to? Proper laboratory procedure was necessary. What is the point that he makes? He's really making 2 points before, but the use of proper laboratory procedure really is referring to what, David? Why are they using proper laboratory procedure?
Let me see the question.
Sure. Okay, well, these are the answers. You asked for the question. You want the answers, right?
Letter D.
Okay. Letter D. Very good. Because, but why letter D? Because he's talking about strict adherence to proper laboratory procedure, because you must do that because it's extremely risky.
Yes.
All right, so your answer has to do with something about extremely risky. All right, so this is very similar to a reference question. The author is using this phrase to reference something he's already said, and he's doing it for a purpose, right? But the answer is going to include some information about the reference. Okay, risky, the risk involved. So yes, letter D is obviously the answer. Okay. All right, so there's two things: the information, dangerous, expensive, influenced by other fields, true scientist. There's other information, and the verb which gives the purpose. So two clues to find the correct answer. But both of them, well, here's the thing to note: both of the clues have to be correct. You're looking for two things, but both things have to match. But this, again, this is a fairly easy example because they make it obvious by giving 4 different pieces of information, 4 different verbs to indicate purpose. You will run into this question where it will say to give an example of, and another one to give an example of, something else, and maybe the other two to indicate blah, 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 one thing to indicate another thing. So they will give possible answers with the same purpose verb. All right, be aware of that. So, in other words, both things have to match: the verb which indicates the author's purpose and the actual specific information. Alrighty. Okay, moving on. According to paragraph 3, why do the daguerreotype plates need to be buffed carefully before exposure? This is pretty easy. This question, you're looking for specific information, which, again, is going to be in the passage. Roberto, you sort of didn't have a chance to answer before. I'm going to give this one to you.
Okay.
Here's the strategy. We're going to be looking for, we're going to go to paragraph 3. We know that. We need to look for specific information. So, Roberto, what keyword can we look for, or key phrase, maybe?
Buffed carefully.
Buffed carefully. I like that. Very good. Roberto went right to the key verb or the key action. Nice. Good strategy, Roberto. All right, let's go for it. Let's buff it out. Yeah. All right. So again, remember that we're looking for why. Okay, to simplify the question, why the plates are buffed carefully. Okay, that's what we're looking for in paragraph 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. So can we find buffed? Maybe we can't. Ooh, they had to be perfectly buffed. Oh, look, there it is. Okay. So why it's buffed, I suppose, is going to be explained before it. So, Roberto, can you read this part?
Okay. Since even one speck of dust could easily create a deep enough groove to render the final image wordless, they have to be perfectly buffed.
Okay, so rephrasing it in your own brain and making it as simple as possible. Why do they need to be buffed? A tiny speck of dust could. All right.
Okay.
Could what? Could.
Can I see the answers?
Okay. Yes, you can. But okay, when I'm trying to teach strategy, what I would do, I would say, why does it have to be buffed? A small particle could gouge the surface. I would rephrase the answer in my own brain. This will help me to recognize the answer.
Okay.
All right. What do you think? Dust could
The,
harm the plate surfaces?
yes.
Okay, yes, that seems good. Another strategy. Just because an answer seems good, do not just, you really should never just say, oh, that seems good, let's continue. Even though you're fighting time, you should at least briefly glance at the other answers. Because, why? Because TOEFL gives lots of trick answers, which are partially correct. This is very normal. All right. Can we eliminate the other answers? People preferred highly polished daguerreotypes.
No.
No, that's
No.
silly. Buffing made the chemicals stick to the copper surface.
No.
No. Okay, a smooth surface was more sensitive to light. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. All right, because a gouge or a groove is an unsmooth surface. Wait a second. It does mention dust. I have a small problem with answer A. And that is, there's nothing about a groove or a gouge or some kind of damage. So now I'm a little confused. Frankly, I'm going to go back. Okay.
I think that is the other one, teacher. The letter D.
D. Oh, the answer? A
Yes,
smooth
a
surface?
smooth surface was more sensitive to light because she was talking about a photograph technique, and it says that they clean it with alcohol, and I don't remember one other thing. Either skirt with alcohol and squares of soft flannels, since one peak of dust, if this has a little layer of dust, will interfere in the final image in the render. It says in the passage. I think that is. I would say that is letter D.
Okay, but all right. I have to figure out why the plates are buffed, not why anything else happens. But I'm a little confused and concerned about the last answer, D, as you were. So I'm going to read a little more around this. I'm gonna have to take more time so I can be sure of my answer. So now I would actually look at D, and I would say sensitive to light. I'd look for that. Oh, here it is. Okay. So again, by looking for a keyword, I can save myself time. The plates were then bathed in solutions of blah blah chemicals. I don't care. The thin layer of chemicals, bromoiodine, that formed on them made them sensitive to light. So the addition of chemicals made them sensitive to light. Okay. So not a smooth surface doesn't make them sensitive to light, the addition of chemicals. All right. So even though I had to waste a little time, I would actually go back with Roberto, and I'd have to pick A. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this answer is just not true. This answer is completely not in the reading passage. This answer is misleading because there's information, but it's not there. And this answer is also misleading. It's very close, but they're talking about a process, and I really have to concentrate on the question. And as Roberto did, the question verb buffed. Why buffed? Okay. All right, Roberto, I'm with you on that one, and yeah, very good.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to skip that, all right? Let's go to the next one. Okay. the phrase, this critical step, in the passage refers to? Okay, a reference question. Okay, in other words, this critical step means what? All right.
A very important point. A very important.
Sorry?
A very
Yeah.
important point. A very
Oh,
important stage of the process.
that's right. But what is it specifically? Exposing the plates, fixing, developing. So we have no idea. We're going to have to find this critical step. I would have thought this critical step would be highlighted, and it is. There it is. Great. It normally is.
There is
Uh,
the mercury
okay.
vapors help you fix.
Okay. All right. Very good. You immediately look at information above it. Obviously, when you have a reference, whether that be a pronoun, uh, a phrase, a relative clause, whatever, it's obviously referring to something that was already written. Okay. So, Ruben, you immediately jump up to, you immediately scan the mercury vapors. Yes?
It says, yes, as to this is heated mercury and freezing cold water. Yeah, the mercury
Uh,
vapors help.
okay. Okay. All right. The children during this critical step. This critical step, they're doing something with vapors, mercury vapors. Wait a minute. Well, are we exposing the plates, fixing and developing, making sure the water was cold enough, applying hydrosulfite soda? Oh my gosh.
D we
What?
can eliminate.
Yeah, okay, we can eliminate, but I still don't feel like I have enough information. All right. By the way, this is going to be common in the test. You're going to be going back and forth, question material, question material. All right? Because the idea is you're trying to waste as little time as possible to figure out the answer. Okay.
Fix the images.
After.
Help it fix. So repair.
Okay. Okay. My technique, I'm going to go a little bit further back. All right. Look at a little more material, either further back or maybe possibly even after. Maybe that would give me a clue. All right. The daguerreotypes next applied hydrosulfite soda. So yes, Michael's elimination of D was correct. After exposure, okay, wait a minute. So they must be talking about a step that happens after exposure. So there's another answer I can eliminate. They were dipped in mercury and cold water. The mercury fixed the images to the plates and developed them.
Repair.
So
where is repair?
Fixed and developed. Oh, there you go. Well, now it's obvious. There's actually two verbs, fixing and developing. Well, now the answer becomes very, very obvious. Okay. Exposing the plates, the step before. Applying hydrosulfite soda, the step after. And this, making sure water is cold enough, is just, I don't know, nonsense. Okay. So there you go. What you're really doing is figuring out the sequence. And once you figure out the answer, it can be very simple. Oh, God, another inference question. Okay, talking about possible strategies. It is possible, by the way, to skip a question. If you know the question is going to be very time-consuming, it is possible to skip it while you're doing this one reading section. There's a button up here which is too blurry to see, but it says Review. If you click this button, Review, it's going to show you what questions you have answered in that section. In other words, attached to that particular reading passage. And from that review page, you can click directly on any question. You don't have to go in order to go back to a question. In other words, you have, I don't know, 12 questions in a reading passage. You quickly manage to do 11, but you skip question 6 because you know it's going to be time consuming. You can then click on the review button, click directly back to question 6, and you know that you've taken 17 minutes. You know you have 3 minutes now to attempt to figure out question 6. This is another possible strategy you can use on this test. Instead of using 6 minutes on question 6 and then not having time to answer 3 of the easier questions, the faster questions, you may want to use that strategy. All right? Go back. That way, even if you don't get back to question 6, you miss 1 question, not 3 questions, which might be much easier. All right? Strategy, strategy.
Okay.
All right.
That's great. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay. Glad you think so. Okay. It can be inferred from paragraph 4, mercury vapors. All right. What do mercury vapors do? Again, first strategy, I'm looking at the question and I'm trying to, what are they really asking me? All right. It's obvious that mercury vapors do something. What? Again, I'm not really going to even look at the answers first. I'm going to see if I can figure it out in my own words. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. All right, mercury vapors help fix the images to the plates and develop them. I briefly scan. Is there anything else about mercury vapors? No, not really. So, putting it in your own words, Michael, what do the mercury vapors do?
Repair.
Repair? Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. We skipped a question. Fix the images. Actually. All right, I'm going to give it to you because you might know this already if we had not skipped the question. To fix something can mean to repair, but it can equally mean to affix something, to position it in a non-movable position.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that which is what it means here. All right, the mercury vapors help fix the images. In other words, solidify their position. Okay, lock them in place. All right. Okay, I'm doing it out loud with you. Sorry?
Attach or something similar?
Attach is to stick something to something else. To fix something in place, to fix something. For example, if I'm going to fix my chair in place, I'm going to nail it to the floor. I'm not really, I could say I'm attaching it to the floor, but all right, all right, yeah, it's close, I guess. Yeah. All right, but remember they're doing 2 things. Okay, they're making it immobile, so it can't be moved. All right, and they're developing the images. So they make the images immobile and they also develop them. Okay. In other words, my strategy is to kind of rephrase things in my brain. Even though you're going to see it a different way in the answers, it will be much more easily recognizable. But is it? It can be inferred that they dissolved any remaining bromoiodine. Wow. I don't know about that. Cause the plates to break up. I don't know about that. Were not noxious. Were used before the plates were exposed. Now this is possible. These other ones, I don't really see anything related nearby. The last one looks likely, but I'm going to double check again. I'm going to go back again. Okay. Where is it here? Okay. And they used to develop them. Okay. They then did another process to dissolve bromoiamide that had not been exposed to light. Brush them with a solution to brighten the images and sharpen the black-white contrast. Oh, after exposure. Oh, wait a minute. So the mercury vapors, again, I forgot, were after exposure. So D is absolutely wrong. Okay. Dissolved remaining bromoiodine. But wait. Again. Where is it? Oops. I've totally lost it. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. No. The hydrosulfite soda is used to dissolve the bromoiodine. That can't be true. This is a very odd question. All right. So that happens after. The exposure happens first. We're left with B and C. Wow. I don't see anything about noxious or the plates breaking up. So now we're stuck. We have no choice but to look at a lot of extra information before or after this. Bummer. Okay. 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 Wait. So before the plates were bathed in solutions of bromine and iodine. Okay. And after they were put in mercury. But no, okay, they didn't dissolve the bromoiodine. Again, the hydrolyte sulfite or whatever it is. Does anybody see any information which I'm not seeing? Or are we going to have to search? Oh, much more. Oh, okay, wait a minute. The chilled water kept the plates from breaking up during this critical step. So the chilled water is used to keep the plates from breaking. Which means if the cold water wasn't used, then the plates could break up. Okay. Well, there you go. That was me searching for something which was right in front of my eyes. Okay. It was right there. It was right next to the information, but for some reason I wasn't seeing it. All right. Actually, that's a good lesson. I was wasting time, but on the other hand, I kept looking and going back and looking and going back and looking. Actually, taking the TOEFL exam, this will happen to you. You won't see something that's right in front of you. Keep looking further and look back at where the information is centered. Keep looking further and keep searching. The answer is there. Is the lesson to be learned there. Okay, this too may happen to you. Okay. Another reference type question. In using the phrase more limited means, the author of the passage is referring to the people who, okay, maybe you know this. All right. Okay. Finding the sentence here. Let's see. David, can you read the sentence?
For those of more limited means, daguerreotype was a once in a lifetime treat. Additionally,
Okay, sorry. I think you can stop there, actually. Okay. Additionally, daguerreotype plates required long exposures. That really has nothing to do with it. You might want to quickly glance at the sentence after, as David did. You might want to glance at the sentence before. Only the rich could easily afford to sit for a daguerreotype portrait. For those of more limited means, a daguerreotype was a once-in-a-lifetime treat. There you go. Okay, so looking at the answers, more limited means refers to people who what, David? Did not have a great deal of money, used inferior equipment, lived far from a daguerreotypist, were satisfied with low-quality images. What do you think? What is the author talking about in this section?
letter D, maybe.
D? Okay. Wait a minute.
Can you show me the words in paragraph?
Yep.
For those of more limited time.
So only the rich could easily afford to get a okay, again, let's rephrase it in our minds. Only rich people could get this type of picture. For those of more limited means, for others, a daguerreotype was once in a lifetime. What others? Okay. Others meaning opposed to probably rich, right? Okay. The answer here, did not have a great deal of money, is the answer, because he's talking about rich. For others, they could only get a picture once in their lifetime. Rich people could get these pictures taken whenever they want. For people of more limited means, and by the way, you may be already familiar with this phrase. In general, this phrase always refers to people with less money. It's a common phrase, especially in writing. People of more limited means. But if you're not, you should be able to deduce it just from, again, referring to, you know it's information before. Okay. All right, well, that's the answer. Not have a lot of money. Okay, guys, we are out of time. I hope you learned some strategies and techniques, general rules of thumb for taking the TOEFL test. Time for me to go and have lunch. I have not yet eaten, so goodbye for now. Thank you.